Okay. Now we're ready to go.
Awesome.
Music's done. I know we're 5 days past Daytona where stuff's happened, but we're here. I don't have anything in the last video. My computer restarted. I don't have any analytics. I think it was like 25, maybe 30 views in the last video. I don't think anybody commented or whatever, but Daytona.
One, there was one scammer in there
Oh,
again, but
it, yeah, that's how it goes.
yeah.
Um, Other than that, thoughts on Daytona?
It was good. A lot better than I expected it to be. I'll give you that. Had some controversy with some wheels.
Um, I think I think the wheels and I would say the rims, but the rims are a part of it. But the wheels itself is a whole problem. Um, I guess we can go into that. Kaz Grala and Justin Haley both got penalized for improper wheels or improper installment of wheels, whatever the heck NASCAR said.
Mounting them wrong or something.
Penalized were what'd they say? Penalized,
Improper attachment.
yeah, and then they 4 championship point events for both teams. Crew chief,
Is Kaz Grala the colleague or Justin
No,
Haley?
Justin Haley. Kaz
They
Grala is.
appealed.
Oh, did they? Yeah, Kaz Grala. I think it was the one and done. That was Mayweather's team.
Yeah, it was. It was Justin Haley. They appealed it, so their full team is at Auto Club this coming weekend. And I saw an interview. The owner says they think they've got a pretty strong case.
I'm
Basically
sorry if you were improper. Did you hear anything like that before? Improper wheels, maybe a lug nut, but the car is still raceable. One lug nut, you
Right.
mess it up, you're done. You're gonna have that problem.
And another issue is the rims coming apart when you notice that when the lug nut that one rim it completely came apart. The rim did.
Yeah, it was underneath the car. It's aluminum. It's gonna fall apart. It's not steel where it's gonna bend.
Right. So
I'd like to hear some specifics, but it sounds to me like they may have, if it's possible that they may have cross-threaded it somehow.
Yeah, I don't. But how are you gonna violate somebody for cross-threading a wheel and suspend them for 4 events? That's not on them.
Well,
This is
like I
NASCAR's
said,
design.
they are appealing it. Before, if you missed a lug nut, in fact, they went the last.
They
two
went away with
seasons
it. It was up to them. If you miss a lug nut, that's on your discretion to come back in, fix it, or you race with it. Before,
Yeah.
And still with 4, you could still race.
And even if you had a loose wheel out there before, you had enough time to get back in to get a loose wheel fixed. With this one,
You can't.
it appears there's nothing. The wheel, you get a loose wheel, by the time you realize that your wheel's coming off.
They need to. I know they put a lot of money in this. Go back to the old way because why fix something that didn't need. Another thing I saw.
It's not broken.
Yeah, another thing I saw when the tire.
They're looking at the short pit times.
Well,
I mean, they and now that goes to the next problem. And I'll let you finish, Brian. But the next problem is they're not giving the gas man enough time. So I think that's going to be the next modification, is some kind of different gas tank where it drains, faster.
2 things is before all that is even when the cars got flat tires, they couldn't go anywhere. The car was hitting the ground. They couldn't move.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I heard in Daytona, maybe it was an interview, whatever. They said NASCAR slows down the gas tank. There's a restrictor in there. So they might change that. But I think tires are going to be a huge talking point for a while until there's not much rubber. Like before, there was enough rubber to keep the car up and going. Now, once it's flat, you're stuck. They couldn't move.
And that was my comment before the show about the interliners, because before, if the tire went flat, you had the interliner to rely on enough to get you around the track to pit road.
Yeah, from what I understand, they do. I think Chase Elliott asked about it, and they said the inliner was still good when he had a flat tire this past week. So
Okay.
they do, but it doesn't matter. There's maybe an inch or two on that rim to the track. Now
Right.
before there was enough time. Like I don't know. It just seems to me that tire is a big problem.
Almost like the low profile tires see people putting on cars nowadays on the streets. There's no tire there.
I said this when we started the podcast. I said this new tire was going to be a big issue.
Yeah.
And it is, and it's not going to stop.
No.
Yeah, you got an 18-inch versus a 15-inch wheel, which means you're taking an inch and a half off of the tire size, and that goes to what you said, Brian, where if it goes flat, you're stuck.
Yep.
You don't have that extra, because before when it went flat, at least you had that extra, another inch or so of inner liner in there that could keep the car off the track, and now you don't have that.
No, this.
I was surprised when Harrison Burton went over. I didn't realize how sealed the underside of that car is.
It looks like a damn toy car. How flat.
Yeah.
They encased that bottom pretty well. I don't know if that is for aerodynamics or what.
Well, as a driver, that would if I'd have known that, it scared the shit out of me because there's no drag under there. And
Nope.
you go over, it
Yep.
just seems to me less resistance, the more opportunity you have to go airborne. And I was surprised after seeing that Harrison was the only one that did go over.
Yeah. Nice little segue, I guess. I was surprised how well the cars held up in crashes. We were worried about the crashes from the Coliseum when Joey Logano, I think was it Joey crashed? Someone crashed.
One of them.
Yeah, I was surprised. I think it was he crashed in the duels. I was surprised how well that car didn't crumble like I figured it would.
Didn't he have to still go to a backup?
Yes. Yeah, that car was totaled. And he still did well, I think.
Yeah, he did.
He performed well. I don't know if he finished well.
Find the car as racy as the old cars on the restrictor plates on Daytona. I mean, they look good together, but it was whereas before, and I think I noticed it more in the duels than I did in the main race. When they lost the draft, they had a single car could catch up to the draft if they were running right. But it was harder, And another thing I noticed with the cars, and this has been an issue before. I know that, with the bump drafting. But it seemed the bump drafting on the top, when they're on the top row, we saw it with several drivers during the race, they would get loose too quickly on the top, coming out the curves.
Well, I think the car is designed with Toyota, Ford, and Chevy. They don't match up bumper to bumper well.
Right.
Like before, they kind of were. Now it's not. Unless the Fords that were dominating when they were together, you weren't catching them at all.
Right.
And when Toyotas did match up, they kind of did, but there is nothing I noticed at least when the Fords were together, it was over.
Yeah.
They meshed well together. Chevys couldn't stick together. They tried many times. I think the Toyotas were the only ones that could possibly catch up, but the Fords were the only ones that stuck together well, just to push and stick together. Like it was, I think their cars were the best dynamically for Daytona. And it showed. They won.
Joey Logano was the one that said it, and he said bump drafting or just tandem driving with these cars was like trying to stack marbles. He said it was really, really tough you could not, before you could put a part of your bumper, and stay to the right side or whatever and stay there. He said you're just constantly going, back because you couldn't hold position.
Yeah, I think that was Keselowski's problem. He was so used to the old car trying to do it.
Keselowski's problem was the cement boot he had on the right foot. I'm sorry, that boy. He should have just had a snowplow on the front of that thing. The way he was plowing through people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know whether he was trying to be the big boss and get the first win for his new company, or I just think he was way overzealous. So he's got 3 or 4 drivers just are pissed
Yeah,
at him.
I don't know if I don't know. You guys know on YouTube, NASCAR has a radioactive where they go through all the radio comms and stuff. Man, they were ripping.
During the
Keselowski.
race, they were ripping him apart.
Denny Hamlin's like, what the fuck is he doing? He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
During the race, like they weren't holding back. And then obviously Harrison Burton's like, dummy, you can't push to the back right. You know, when he got flipped.
Oh, Blaney was pissed at him.
Yeah.
And he was mad at Cindric too for pinching him up into the wall right there at the end, throwing the block on him. I can't blame Cindric for that.
Hell no.
You know, at the last lap, you're gonna wreck your mama to win. You know, I don't care. But and Blaney still crashed across the line for 4th spot. So.
Oh my God! How close was Bubba to winning? And I would have been irate when he was so close. Because of that, if he would have won, we would have never heard the end of it.
No.
Never.
As it is, they're still talking about how Cindric pinched Bubba behind the yellow line. He should be penalized.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. I
don't think that be what it was. I don't. That wasn't on purpose. I was just racing for the win, and Cindric's coming off the wall from that block. So,
I agree. See, to me, and I can say this in a blanket statement, and I mean it. To me, Bubba Wallace is nothing more than a Michael Waltrip with a chip on his shoulder. That's it. I'm tired of Bubba Wallace. Everywhere you look, now Netflix is. I mean,
I watched that.
Good for him. He's getting all this attention, but I want to know what he's getting the attention for, other than the obvious.
Yeah.
You know,
it's funny because obviously in an interview he's mad he didn't win and blah blah blah. I'm like, you're lucky you're even there. And I got into an argument on Twitter with a guy because somebody tweeted about Bubba Wallace is gonna be in the top 5. I'm like, only way he's ever been there because the whole field has crashed out. And so he tweeted back at me after the race. He's like, I told you Bubba Wallace would be there at the end. I'm like, yeah, but 30 other cars crashed for him to be there. Well, he ran up front all day. Yeah, he got lucky where he was at when other crashes, but other 30 cars have crashed. If they were there, he would not be second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I liken both of Bubba's win or close wins to Michael Waltrip's wins.
Yeah.
He won at Talladega being Bubba because of a rain delay.
That could have easily been
all right.
Continued.
A la Michael Waltrip. And he got this really good finish at Daytona because of a major crash, a la Michael Waltrip.
Major crashes. It wasn't just one. It was 30 other cars had to crash for him to be in that position. If you remember Daytona, if you probably guys didn't watch it last year because you're on and off, go watch the highlights of July race of Daytona last year. He was running 20th, okay? And 2 major crashes happened the last 10 laps, and he finished second, actually third, and then second got disqualified for a improper car. So he finished second, and then he was mad after the race, saying Toyota needs to work together, and so we can finish and blah, blah, blah. No one's helping me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, motherfucker, you were running 20th at 10 laps to go, and you only got where you were. He got lucky going through the crash and finished third. But he was all mad because he couldn't win because there's no Toyotas helping him push. Well, you were lucky you even got there.
Yep.
Right.
Well, like I said, this week will be another test for him. I don't want to beat up on him too bad because I know he is trying with whatever talent he's got. But we were just discussing before the show, his best finish at California is 20th, and his average is 25th in 2 races.
Not to mention he just spun out in practice, so.
Yeah, he did. He just spun out in practice, so.
Not doing too hot, but a lot of people are spinning out, so. But, his is coming out. I don't know. I don't say I don't.
Stenhouse is another one that.
To give Bubba credit, I'm not a Bubba fan, and I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. But a lot of drivers have been lucky enough and had cars good enough to run up front, or run in the top 10 at tracks like Talladega and Daytona, and have decent finishes. And so, give him credit having the ability to use what he had and be up there and avoid the wrecks. Okay, that's all part of Daytona. That's all part of Talladega. If you're able to keep your car clean,
Just being lucky is a good part of it too.
that's a good part of it, and that goes with any driver at Daytona. So, like I said, I'm not a fan of his. I will say that Daytona and Talladega are the only two tracks he'll ever finish in the top 10, in my opinion.
I'll tell you what, I'd be a lot bigger Bubba fan if they didn't try to push it down our throats.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
To be honest,
Right.
I would.
Right.
They are. They're making him that they're trying to make him the face of NASCAR right now.
Face of
And it's not gonna,
the minority black side.
Right.
They're trying
The
to make diversity side. Yes.
Right.
yeah.
I would like him a lot more.
I was a big fan of the Trevor Bayne win. I don't know, 6-7 years ago, whenever it was. And I got a lot of blowback on that because, well, he got lucky. Jeff pushed him. But you know what? That kid had a good piece. He raced a clean race.
Yep.
And he played nice. When he needed to push, he pushed. He didn't try and drive through anybody. When he had the chance to do, what he did it. And Jeff Gordon had enough respect for him to help him win. Jeff could have dumped him.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing with if Trevor, he doesn't think World owes him stuff. Bubba does. He goes,
Exactly.
you owe me this. No.
You could have been pushing Bubba for the last 15 laps, dumped him on the final turn, and he'd be pissed.
Yep.
Like he wouldn't have done the same thing to you. But all right, enough of him. We're not giving him any more air
Just
time.
little thing. I watched his documentary. It's actually pretty good, the way Netflix did it. They need to follow someone more popular, in my opinion. Because if you don't know, NASCAR has an F1 series that follows multiple different teams, and it's actually a really good series. You see the real side of them. You don't see what TV pervades them as. You see the swearing, you see the cussing, you see the anger, you see the inside meetings. NASCAR kind of did that with Bubba Wallace, even though they tried to do the whole diversity thing. It's not a bad show, but NASCAR should latch onto that and just do multiple drivers. You can do Bubba, but also do Chase Elliott or go Kevin Harvick because he has, get the insides because people enjoy it. I loved it. I like the inside stuff. I don't watch F1. I'm sorry, but I watched that documentary because it's actually interesting. But they do.
I have to check it. I have not watched it, or can't really say I've heard of it. So
yeah, the F1's got a really nice documentary series, and it's obviously drama driven, but you see the raw inside meetings of them getting pissed, and when they get pissed, NASCAR's full of that drama. If you can get a camera in front of them and get all the swearing and cussing and get the real, it'd be real good.
And this is on Netflix, the F1 series?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't follow just one. They follow, I think, they follow Red Bull, they follow Haas, they follow McLaren, they follow all the major teams.
Got it.
And it's really good. All right, I guess we can go on to the next subject. Whatever that is. I have nothing wrote down.
I was going to touch on this. It's probably not interesting the most, but to me it kind of is because it's kind of in a narrative that I'm on right now. I don't know if you guys read my blog about the sponsorship and the declining dollars and everything, to the point where NASCAR doesn't even have a title sponsor now.
Yeah, they just have 3 main sponsors, I think.
4.
Yeah, that's all.
There's
really
4 of them. Well, the thing that caught my eye is the TV rights are up at the end of 2023. No, the end of this year, and they start negotiations for the 2023 season. And NASCAR, the crux of the article is Fox and NBC are not wanting to dole out the huge dollars
They
like they
shouldn't.
have over the last 10 years. And I get a big kick out of what's his name?
Nope.
Steve Phelps. He's the new Mike Helton.
Yeah.
Wasn't aware of that. But he's a little irritated at that fact. Plus, he can't understand why ESPN basically doesn't even want to talk to him. And I found that
They know your numbers. The numbers are knowledge. It's open. They know. They can see. Like they they watch football and basketball and like, okay, your numbers are nowhere near that. Why am I gonna pay?
Oh, exactly.
Why would I bid on that?
But I just thought that was interesting. So look for some controversy on that late season, I would imagine, as these contracts wind down. I can remember back, and it was a while ago, but NASCAR, it was on ESPN, TBS, TNN, NBC, CBS.
Yep.
They all had a 4 or 5, maybe 6 race stint, and I liked it. I did, because you got different views from 5 or 6 different analysts, teams of analysts or color commentators, and I'll never forget I think it was TNT or TNN. It was the one that Kyle Petty did at first.
Yeah.
Was the first what they called side by side.
Yeah.
Right.
You could go, they would go to the commercial, but they would keep the race in a box on one side. No breaks or something like that is what it was called. But they were the first ones to do that. And that was a big thing that year. And I'll never forget, in a former life, talking about it, and the other person said it was very irritating, and I said, why? I'm still watching the race. I know what the commercial is. I've probably already seen it 27 times, but at least I'm still able to watch the race.
Mm-hmm.
You talked.
Go ahead.
You talked about the numbers. I know. I remember seeing it before the show. This year's 500 had an average rating of 4.7 rating with 8.87 million viewers on Fox and 8.88 million across all platforms.
That was for the Daytona.
Right, Daytona. Right.
Yeah.
Marking it the highest rated and most watched edition of this race since 2019, where it was 5.3 rating and 9.17 million viewers.
So it's down, right?
Right. It's down, but it's still the highest since that point. Yeah.
This weekend will tell a lot.
Yeah, because they put a lot into the Daytona with the new car and this and that.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I kind of want to do a segue off of your commentators. How'd you think of Tony Stewart and Clint Boyer in the booth?
I loved it.
I did too. I really enjoyed it. They were both doing jabs at each other, and it was fun. I don't know if you could recall. They're talking about the cardio of drivers, and Clint Boyer goes, "When was the last time you were in the gym?" He's like, "I don't know. My fat ass had never been in the gym in a long time." Tony Stewart. So it was their chemistry was really good. I'm excited to see how Matt Kenseth does this weekend, because he's very intelligent. We might have the banter. It might be smart banter. Only a few people will get it. But I really enjoyed the Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer duo in the booth.
Yeah, I think Clint Boyer's going to be a little bored with Matt Kenseth in the booth. But
hey, we'll see. He might bring it out of him. I don't know.
Yeah. He better get ready to take. So then we get the pleasure of watching Danica.
I heard, they're trying, Danica. So that'll bring views. Even though most of her be a voice, so we'll see. I also seen that, and I thought that was interesting that they're trying to bring Danica back, and who knows? I think they're trying a whole bunch, because there's only Clint right now, like Clinton. I forgot the other guy's name, but
Chris Myers.
Is it Chris? I don't know.
I don't
know, but I just know usually there's 3 of them in there, and there's only 2 right now, so they're trying out. I think Tony, but he's got other things to worry about. So I thought it was cool.
Speaking of Tony, SRX Series announced.
Yep.
I'm happy to see Ryan Newman actually have a ride in that series.
Yep.
That was a good thing. Seeing Ryan back in a race car in any series
With Greg Biffle.
with Greg
Yep.
Biffle.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a cool series to watch. I've been trying every time I see it. I don't have time to repost it, but I've seen the schedule, and I want to post it over to the Facebook page because I do want to catch. And they're gonna be on CBS, correct?
CBS or
Well, get me-
NBC. I do know they have a deal. I can look real quick.
pretty
You guys
sure-
can continue if you want to.
But anyway,
Yes, it's CBS.
okay.
Starting, I think, July 17th.
Is it that? Okay.
Nashville.
I think that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
That you got a lot of
talent there.
Those are actual race cars. Those don't, they're fun to watch. I watched it last year. I know it was the first year, so I know they have.
Kind of reminds me of the old IROC, where all the cars are exactly the same. But is this the one where they draw numbers or do they have their own cars?
They have their own cars. They're already labeled, but they're all identical.
Okay.
I don't know what's underneath. I don't know what frames. I don't know what motors. I don't know what trannies. I just know they're all identical. Ray Evernham's involved in it. If you didn't know, like this is all Tony Stewart's obviously brainchild, but he has Ray Evernham. That guy is a genius in his own right.
Yeah, he is. He is a genius. He he trained Chad Knaus.
Yeah. Imagine if Knaus went to Gordon.
I always crack up every time someone calls Chad Knaus the biggest or best cheater in the world. I'm like, where the hell do you think he learned it?
Yep.
The only thing Evernham didn't teach him is how to not get caught.
Yeah. But by the time Knaus was in there, they were a lot more strict on how they find stuff. Which you can kind of segue that into this week with a bunch of failures in the cars.
Right. What was it? Every Toyota and every Ford passed at least failed at least 2 inspections. And I guess the penalty for that is they lose pit selection. They're still able to qualify and hold their position, but they don't get to pick their pits. I don't know how that's going to work, whether they draw straws or... But Kurt Busch is the only one that failed 3 times, and he doesn't get to qualify.
Yeah.
And he obviously is going to start at the back, and then he must perform a pass-through penalty after the green flag falls.
Yeah.
So,
I was trying to find a list, but everything I will go with that is this Kurt Busch. I'm trying to figure out.
it was like there was a bunch of them, but again, it's not. They lost a pit member.
Failing twice were the cars of Kevin Harvick, which he just crashed. Brad Keselowski, he didn't. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, and B.J. McLeod on top of Kurt Busch.
I thought Keselowski and...
This is what I'm reading off the NBC Sports website. It's Busch's car was the only vehicle to fail inspection 3 times. 6 cars failed twice. Each of those team members each had crew members ejected and lost pit stall selection for Sunday's race. No, that was Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, and B.J. McLeod. So those 2311 got screwed. Well, not screwed, but caught, I should say, whatever they did.
Yeah, that's what I want to know is what did they do? Or not do.
Right.
But
what they try is what they did. What they're pushing the Toyota. They're pushing Joe Gibbs ideas or whatever. Let's put them on the 2311, see if we get away with it. Type of thing.
Didn't work out.
Didn't work out. No. So it was 7 cars.
Second week in a row of controversy for Keselowski.
But he didn't get in trouble for those.
Yeah, but like I said, the point is they don't lose their qualifying attempts, and they still get to make pit selection, which is a little more important at Auto Club than it is at Daytona. It's like sometimes I even wonder why you go through qualifying at Daytona, because I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter where you start at Daytona.
No.
It's how well you draft.
No, yeah.
and when you make your moves, and I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
Let's see what else we got here, guys.
There's quite a bit. I know I post a lot through I can on the Facebook page. I guess we can do like go ahead.
It was interesting that NASCAR didn't penalize Roush Kalowski Racing for the rim modification to the rims. In fact, they're enhancing in the same modifications, from what I understand, to the rest of the rims in the series.
Well, Roush Fenway, Keselowski, and Penske both got called for the same thing. However, I saw an article where they're saying that what they did was supposedly a safety enhancement thing, and NASCAR is actually investigating that. They're not.
Do you
they're
know
not
what it was?
No.
It was the whole. They made it bigger for the single lug or something like that. I heard they made it bigger than normal, so it's not just a tight fit. It's actually, I don't know. It's something like that. I think what Roush did is
that's not a thing. They're not getting penalized for it.
Yeah, it was a safety thing, and I think NASCAR kind of saw it their way.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, I think what I read too is Roush, whatever, they contacted NASCAR about it, and they said no, and they said screw it, we're going to do it anyways. And here's the result. They're going, okay, so you're not going to allow us. We'll just show you in a non-points race.
Yeah, they did it, and well, see, I mean, if it's a safety thing, and the Fords can prove to them that, hey, this is a better way to do it, NASCAR may say, okay, fine. But if NASCAR says no, that's unauthorized modification of a part, they better drop the hammer on them boys.
Yeah.
They better.
Well, I think NASCAR's already pretty much said there's not going to be a penalty for it.
Yeah, they already said there's no penalty for that. I don't know if they're going to allow them to do it on their cars now, or maybe going forward they'll implement or do whatever, do the same thing to those wheels, because they're manufactured and they're just handed out. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, no, they didn't get penalized. I know they was confiscated, and Bubba even, did you see his tweet? And not to mention him again, but after the race, Austin Cendric won. He goes, "Oh, weren't they using illegal wheels, trying to steal the win?"
The only way he's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I don't know if you watched the Xfinity race or not, but did you see that Matt Snyder, number 31? Yes. Holy shit!
Oh, how the car
was incredible.
Yep. Yes, it was.
There was.
Well, when you're going that fast, it's happened multiple times. Not like that, but when you hit a fence.
Was that the car that planted parts in Michael Jordan's bus?
Yes. Yeah, and they had parts all over the place. But when you hit a fence going that fast, it's a cheese grater, and it showed you.
Oh yeah.
If you watch slow enough, when it hit, the motor was gone, and luckily the motor went in the infield. But yeah, that was a very, for one, scary but fascinating crash, I guess is the best way to put it.
It was scary,
he went for a ride, and he's good to go. He went and qualified. He's not hurt, so
yeah.
That was a holy shit moment.
It was. Another little fun fact that I didn't realize is this was the first time that Denny Hamlin crashed out of the Daytona 500.
What exactly happened? I know he was mad. Oh, it was the Harrison Burton crash. Yeah, he was mad.
Yeah. When Harrison went over. Kyle Busch got caught up in that one too. But that was, I didn't think there was any active driver that hasn't crashed at some time in the Daytona 500.
He's pretty good at getting in the right position at the right time, and I think that asshole, I had him picked in my fantasy too.
Oh, I did too, and then I had Harrison Burton in the garage, so he stayed.
I guess we can touch on that. our league, I guess. Frank's number 1 right now. Then you, then me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even look, to be honest with you.
And you didn't even have a garage pick. What the fuck?
I was gonna say you had nobody in the garage and you still won the damn thing.
Yeah.
Just remember, on that league, you can only use
10 times
a driver 10 times.
Yeah.
You can't make a lineup and keep it.
Yeah. You could for 10 races. It keeps
Yep.
them. I already updated
But
for this
once you
weekend.
use a
so-
driver 10 times, you're done with him. I think till the playoffs.
That's a good question.
I
So
think it's
so
when
you
there's-
gotta switch them up. You can't use like
Yeah.
Kyle Larson every fucking week, you know?
Nope. You got to switch them up.
I guess I'll get on tonight at work and see what it looks like.
Now this is different than last year, because last year they had it. I don't know if they had it to where what manufacturer you think is gonna win, and then who's gonna win the poll. Like they had more into it, and then instead of just a lineup, and then they added the head on head stuff.
Yeah,
That's new.
head-to-heads.
Yeah, the head-to-heads. Who you think's gonna finish better? That's something they added this year that replaced what manufacturer. I think they did before the year before the stages. Who do you think's gonna win each stage? And then the qualifying, and then the race, and the manufacturer. But they got rid of all that. I think. Well, they did, but I think they got rid of the qualifying because they couldn't qualify the last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last 2 years they haven't been able to qualify. It's nice to see them. I hope they stay with it too, because I don't care. Even though a lot of people are like, "What are you watching?" It's still nice to see you do it.
I don't like how
Right.
short the practices are, though.
No,
They need at least previously it was like what 2 practices. You had the like Thursday or Friday
Right.
practice, and then Saturday.
2 hour long practices, I think it was.
Yeah, 2 1-hour long ones. Yeah, and now they're like 30 minutes. Like what the hell are you gonna get from 30 minutes?
exactly.
You can't. Okay,
And
this
it-
problem. Let's go change it. Try again. You can only do that once, maybe. They don't have enough time to do anything. You're just gonna see how good or bad your car is, and then okay, well let's try this. And that's
I
about it.
still long for the days when they did 2-day qualifying.
That's
Qualified the top 20 on Friday, and then did the rest of the field on Saturday.
they're doing something
and
different here for qualifying that I don't know what's going on. This is round 1, Group B.
Oh, it's. I think they take the top 10 for the poll. You got 2 groups,
So the top 10 from each go for the poll.
I believe so.
Okay, 'cause I haven't.
Could be.
I don't know what's going on.
I
I'm
could
like,
be
what? I was like, what's going
I
on?
think the way I understand it is everyone qualifies, then the top 10 of everyone go again for the poll. Is that how I
yeah,
understood it?
from each group. Top 10 from each group's gonna go again for one
No, it's
last
the
try.
I believe it's the top
Top 5.
for
Yeah.
each.
Yeah, it is the line. Yeah. Okay, I see it. Is it? So yeah. So is it? How many groups are there? Only 2 groups?
Yeah, I think it's Group A, just A and B.
Okay.
Du-du-du-du-du-du. I covered the. I did want to again.
Are they doing single car qualifying
Yes.
in California?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going back to that. They're no longer the heat qualifying like they did
Good.
years past.
And back to what I was saying, the reason why I love that 2-day qualifying is because Friday night the cars, and I saw this I don't know how many times with a Dale Earnhardt or somebody of back in the day where they went out on Friday night and just sucked. They
Mhm.
couldn't do nothing. They'd come back on Saturday, qualify, and be faster than the pole from the day before, but they would be in position 21. And it always made the start of the race, you didn't necessarily have the fastest car on the pole position. He could have been 20s. And with a guy like Dale Earnhardt, you better get out of the way. And there was Davey Allison and Cale Yarborough. I saw it with a lot of them where those guys because they had Friday night to go back in and work on their cars and get them better.
Now half the time they impound the cars after qualifying. They can't even touch them.
Yep.
Right.
But to me, it just made for much more interesting racing.
I saw a picture. I know it's really nothing to do with it. Where it was in Dale Earnhardt's Wrangler 3 car, where while driving, I don't know what track, he got out of the car while driving and cleaned off the windshield. Imagine that nowadays.
Well, remember Sterling Marlin at Daytona got
Got
out
out
and
and
pulled
fixed
his
the fender.
fender out?
Yeah.
Getting a red flag. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't gonna do that again.
No.
That was hilarious when Sterling Marlin did that.
Yeah.
They're like, what is he doing?
He could have did it more sneakily, but he didn't.
How do you sneakily get out of a car on the? I don't know.
Yeah, no.
So, what are you guys thinking for this weekend? Who you picking? As far as the winner, I don't care. I don't want to see a top 10, but just the winner. Who you think's going to win it?
Oh man, it's so hard because you can't go off years past because it's a new car, new everything. Because everybody's like, oh, it's gonna be Alex Bowman because he's so good at this track. I'm like, it's that's on the old car, So is
Right.
everybody's. I've seen some stuff online. They're saying Brad or Kyle Larson and stuff, and I really don't. I don't know.
I saw Carl, like you said, Carl Larson's the favorite somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how, but if I'm gonna pick, I tell you what, I'll go and say it's gonna be a Ford.
I think Fords are good at. I don't know. They're all good, but they were really good at Daytona. I saw that in the duels. And I was like, that's a problem. They're all gonna, manufacture up, and you ain't gonna be nothing with them. Now Fontana is gonna be different.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of want to say Kyle Larson, but like that's just like the like the favorite. But I don't know what I want to say on the inside. Now I might have to change my picks up because I actually changed my picks and I put Kevin Harvick in it. He just freaking crashed. I'm gonna say Kyle Busch.
He's got the best stats.
I'm gonna say Kyle Busch. He's
That's
actually.
who I was gonna.
He's got practice. He's got qualifying. He's gonna get that information to his team. I think it's gonna be Kyle Busch. That's my guess. I think he's gonna do well.
His last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last 8 starts, he's had only one finish out of the top 10, and that was in 2016, where he finished 25th. Other than that, from 2011 on forward, he finished 3rd, 2nd, 1 in 13, 1 in 14. Oh, 15. Okay, I was like, why didn't he race in 25th? That's because he broke his leg at in Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, he was 25th. 2017, he was 8th. 18, he was 3rd, and 19, he won. He's the last winner from this track. Another one that has had extremely good numbers from 2013 on is Joey Logano. He finished 3rd in 2013, 39th in 2014. Then he finished 7th, 4th, 5th, 5th, 2. He's my pick.
Joey Logano?
Yep. He's getting nothing but better. I think it's going to come down to the Joey, Kyle, and Kyle show, to be honest. And you can't not look at Ryan Blaney either.
I was going to say Ryan Blaney is a good, solid pick.
His last 3 races have been 9th, 8th, and 5th. His first race there in 2016 was 35. So those are going to be my 4 strong men. But I am going with and I don't like it, but I am going with.
If you look at Ryan, he's actually probably in a better car now than he was then.
Yeah. So he's got this, and William Byron, for all his hoopla, he's only raced there twice, and he's finished 15th both times. So, not been impressed with that. Alex Bowman, he's raced there 4 times, and his best finish is 13th, but he has the other 3 are outside of the top 20. So, who knows? You know, Austin Cindric, no one saw that on their radar for last week's.
No, not at all. Like I said, I think this year is going to be a lot of surprise. I wouldn't say winners, but finishes from people because
Right.
the cars are different. You know, whoever adapts better as a team and driver.
Well, I'll tell you, in this league, that's what I like about it is you can put that dark horse in the garage.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because pick somebody off the wall for that.
I've always had a problem picking people by their average finish at a track because sometimes the finish doesn't always say how they actually ran.
You know,
You know, you're running top 5 laps to go at California, you catch a flat tire, you're going to finish 15th.
You do get points in this league for stage wins and stuff like that too. I don't think positions, but stage wins you get points. So that's another thing to keep an eye on when you're picking.
Okay.
I'll probably pick mine tonight after qualifying's over.
Yeah.
And I want to see where the penalties settle out and who, because after this is when they're going to talk about who has to go to the back. I would say, even though Kurt Busch, I don't think I would pick him right now. He's not had good. His last 4 races have been 6th and 19, but 14, 24, and 30. So he's not been stellar. But what, from 15 on, he's been in about 4 different cars.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Especially this year's a Toyota and new car.
Yeah. Although he was with Stewart Haas for a couple of those years, so Keselowski, like I said, I'm not sold on him right now. I think he's got too many hats on.
He's trying to impress us at a race. He's trying to prove that Roush is good and the stuff we got's good.
And it is.
Yeah, it is. He proved that in the duels. It's just he wrecked a lot of cars trying to push his way up to the front.
Yeah. He did. Okay. That's out of the way. I saw an article. I want to know what you guys think about this, and they're basing it on the theory because of the Coliseum had such good participation and the fact that Fontana, it needs replaced. It absolutely, that track is wore out. It's one of the most wore out tracks on the circuit now that Atlanta's been rebuilt again. Mm-hmm. They're talking about possibly making it a short track.
Montana?
I saw something about that. Yeah, I saw something about that. I don't know.
I think it would be, if
there's way too many cookie cutter tracks like that.
My argument last week, if you're going to racing out there like the Coliseum, make you a short track. If you need to rebuild California, make it a short track. Why not?
I agree.
Make it the West Coast Bristol. Why not?
I agree.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that, but I agree. It would be nice.
And that's always been a boring race anyway.
Like I said, Fontana, this is a cookie cutter track.
All right.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one of the tracks where the leader can get like a 6-second lead over second place?
Yeah, it's one of those. It's kind of like Texas and Atlanta and all that.
In fact, that's one of the tracks Jeff Gordon was told by NASCAR to not get a lead more than 4 seconds.
Screw you! If I'm running, I'm going.
Yeah.
How I feel.
NASCAR told him, he admitted this in an interview not too long ago, that NASCAR told him, do not get a lead of more than 4 seconds at any track. If you do, slow down.
I never heard that.
No, I would tell him. I'm not disagreeing.
Gordon actually said it in an interview. He admitted to it.
If I was him, I was like, well, tough. I'm leading the race. I'm going to
tell the rest of them figure it out.
Yeah, tough. Find me. Find me for winning.
California was Roger Penske when he was building tracks and he owned Michigan. He wanted a track like Michigan out at California. And he's the one that actually built this. I don't know that he still owns it or not. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But whoever owns it, if they're going to do something, I vote for the short track. Maybe not quite to the extent of a Bristol, but if they wanted to do something that would actually bring fans, I think that would be the way to go. Because if they just try and repave and reconfigure a little bit, they're not helping themselves. I mean, they've already lost one race. Why not make it something very, very exciting, or at least the potential of being exciting?
We're down to a mile bull ring.
Something like that.
It's saying Fontana, California's Auto Club Speedway will be transformed into a half-mile short track next season. This
a half mile?
Yeah, it's saying half mile.
That would be cool. Like I said, make it the West Coast Bristol. So
We're in the very early process, but we are excited about what this ambitious project could mean to our loyal fans in the southern. So it's they show a picture here actually of what the track is and what it's gonna be. So it's gonna be interesting if they actually do that. So how long would that take? Will they be out 2 years, making it a year?
no, look
A
what
year.
they could have it done by this time next year.
Yeah.
Easy.
Auto Club's been going since '97. Yeah, so they're saying next year it'll be a half mile. It looks like it's a lot longer than Bristol,
More like a Richmond.
more like a Martinsville almost.
Oh, that's what I meant.
It's a lot longer, but it just shows a top picture. It doesn't say like what the banks can be, if it's gonna be like Bristol or not. But it looks like a paper clip. They're using the front stretch, front stretch as the one of the turns, and the rest will be. Looks like the pit road's gonna be the other one, and then just turns. At least what this picture looks like. I just looked it up real quick, so if that's actually true, yeah. Construction is not expected to affect its 2021 race schedule, so it'll be sometime this year, probably after this race or whatever obligation they got, they're probably start doing it. They can build the track and then worry about the rest of the racetrack after that, the old stuff.
Wow. I just pulled it up too.
You're
right. It does look kind of like a Martinsville.
Yeah.
Or a Richmond.
Hey guys, I need to step away so I get ready for work.
All right, we can end it right here. I think we've covered everything we need to. Like I said, if anybody's watching this, feel free to join our fantasy league. Have you got a link up for that yet?
No,
Brian?
I just posted it to the Facebook page. I can put it in the YouTube thing. Like I said, I still need to get the Facebook updated in the overlay. We need to make a Twitter. I think how Facebook works, if you have over 1,000 people in the group, you can actually make a link instead of being just a random bunch of numbers. You can make it a link. So we just got to build it to that. But yeah, no, we need to get more. Well, not need, but it'd be nice to have more people in the fantasy. I think
I'm surprised we haven't got a couple jump in just because I used to do that, look around for cool looking names on fantasy leagues and jump in on them. But
it's Burn It Down podcast is what the league's called.
Yeah,
you can look it up that way. On NASCAR's official one, you can make your own league. So we made our own. We're all three in it. Go that way. If not, I'll probably put a link in the description. It'll be in the Discord. Go from there.
Okay.
So my pick was Kyle Busch. Yours was Joey Logano. I don't know what Frank he didn't pick. Did you?
I'm gonna go with Kyle Larson.
You're not gonna go with Bad Brad?
I wanted to go Kyle, but I'll save him for the end of the year. He usually picks it up near the end of the year. Let him get used to his car.
I think Kyle's and Brad are both going to be top 10, but I agree. It's going to be interesting to pick.
Other than that,
Hamlin usually does good at these. So, all right, guys,
we can end it there. That's fine by me.
Let's do it. We'll get hopefully another next week.
Yep.
Let me get the music going and end it.